it's your girl Christine, and you're watching Crafty Southern Home. So this week I have got some flips. Now I bought a couple things from a yard sale, and I think another one I had on hand. Oh, my husband had been in storage or something other. So anyhow, we're gonna be flipping. This is outdated decor, and let's face it, we all have outdated decor because you don't have to keep anything too long, and the designers or whatever, they decide that something's outdated, right? So we're just going to flip it to make it look more modern. Now, don't take something that's an antique, please, or precious and do this. These are items that I feel like two of them were probably like home interiors or something from the 80s. But just don't take anything that's real precious and of value and do this. But you can find goodies out there everywhere. So get to yard selling and do some thrift stores, antique stores, what have you. These are three projects. We're going to be using one of the new alchemy line from DIY paint. No, Fusion. Fusion. This is my first time using Fusion, and I'm excited because everybody says it sticks to about any surface, and this is the new alchemy line. So I'm trying that. I've got some wax we're going to be using, some rub and buff. Y'all know me, I love some rub and buff. Y'all please watch to the end. I appreciate you guys so much. If you find anything you like here, thumbs up. And if you're new, please consider smashing that subscribe button. It's totally free, you guys. Keep watching. Thank you. This project, I'm using these two little ducks I found at a yard sale. And on the bottom, I'm showing you there, you can't read it, but it says People's Republic of China. I don't know anything about what this may be. I don't think it's of value at all, though. But I'm going to use two coats of, this is the new Alchemy line from Fusion. And this is in the color Storm. And I'm going to coat these with two coats. Now, I did not prep these in any way. I'm just simply, after I've cleaned them up, I'm just simply going in with the paint. Um, and I will say that I found that this Fusion paint is very buttery so well. So I'm impressed with the Fusion paint so far. And again, this is the Alchemy line, so I think it's a chalk and mineral mix or something. So it's not their normal line, but so I am going to seal it. I just don't want the paint to not have that top coat to it. I feel like these little ducks are going to be decor. I'm going to put them in my booth, so I feel like people are going to be touching them. So I just want to seal them real well. And I'm going in, first I just used clear whites, and then I'm coming in with some white whites and topping those good. So I went over both of them with the whites, and then I came back in with just a paper towel and wiped back the excess after it's sat there for a little bit. And then this project, easy peasy, it is done. This project, I'm using a frame that I picked up from a yard sale. If y'all are familiar with home interiors, that has got to be a home interiors piece. So we're just going to update it, and it's going to be simple. So it's nothing too difficult to do at all, but this is just a way to get some simple updates of your existing decor that you may have on hand. So I'm just popping out the frame. Oops, a little, it was in there good. So I'm just going to pop that out, and then I'm going to paint that frame with Dixie Belle. This is the color Caviar, and I'm doing 2 coats of that. Now I'm just going to let that paint dry on its own, and then I think that's just the first coat I got sitting over there, and I do come back with a second coat. And I'm just taking a piece of, this is some cardboard that I get like with my decoupage paper, and I'll always save that for backing. And I will cut that out to that frame size using this gorgeous piece of decoupage paper. You can tell by the edge because the one edge is rough. There was another design on there that I've used previously. So it's got this strip in between, but I'm going to use that as well. The one piece wasn't large enough to cover that complete size of that frame opening. So I'm going to piece them together, but I'm just going to take my brush, dip it in some water, and make my edges a little bit rough. It really didn't matter so much. It will matter on the piece that I'm going to piece together. And I did end up with a little bit of a strip in between those two, but I was fine with that. Now, I did not paint my cardboard white. That's totally an option. I wanted my piece to look a little bit more muted. So if you paint your background white, what that does for your decoupage paper is it really makes your colors more vibrant. But in this case, that cardboard is not that dark. So I was fine with it looking a little bit more muted and on the dull side. So if you wanted it to pop a little bit more, just paint your background piece before you decoupage it on. Paint that white and then just let that sit. So I'm just laying mine down with Mod Podge. So whatever decoupage medium you want to use, and I do little strips, and I do use my water bottles mister to just get those fibers in that paper to open up, and it really does cut down on any air bubbles and wrinkles in your paper. It really does cut it down, so make sure you do use your mister bottle there. So I'm going to put the large piece on, and then I'm going to come back with that little strip, and you're going to see me butt it up against there, and really when we get through, you're not going to be able to tell that it wasn't one continuous piece, other than I could have cut that little strip out in between. I got it kind of close, but not exactly. So I'm just going to lay that down, and then just make sure that you always top your decoupage with your decoupage medium. When my decoupage paper is completely dry, it will draw up a little bit because it's a thin piece of cardboard, but that's fine because we're going to push it in the frame and we're going to have some support there, so it's going to even it out. But it will draw your paper products up a little bit. But I'm just going to go around with a sanding block, and that's the best way to take off the paper around from the edges. Just make sure you go away from your project, and that just keeps from pulling up any project that may have not been completely sealed down. Then last step, I'm coming in with some rub and buff. Not last step, but I'm coming in with some rub and buff because I love me some rub and buff. Now this is the autumn gold, and I'm just gonna take a small artist brush and go around and bring out that detail in that frame. So you can go as heavy or as light as you want to with this, but you're just really making that detail pop, because with just the black it just looks flat. So we want some detail in there. When everything's dry, we're just going to flip it over, place our decoupage inside the frame and tighten that down. And then, y'all, look how gorgeous when I flip this over. Now, I did come back and seal it with some clear wax. Might not have been necessary, but just to make sure that everything is protected. And y'all, this piece is really elevated now, and it's just a more modern, up-to-date piece that would be available to show off. Our third and final project. So these are some plate holders that my husband had, and he gave them to me a couple weeks ago. I've put some in my booth, but now this one I am going to use Fusion paint, and this is the color Woodwick. Such a pretty neutral color. So I'm going to do 2 coats of the Fusion paint. Now the regular Fusion paint, the Alchemy line, is a little bit different because I think it has chalk paint in it. But the regular Fusion paint will stick to almost any surface. It has a built-in primer and a built-in sealer. So it's just a perfect paint. This is my first time using Fusion. I'll definitely be buying more, and I've used this on several projects now, this little container, so I've completely used it up. But it just goes on buttery, soft, and just even, and it dries quick, and I did use the blow dryer in between to assist with drying time. When I'm completely dry, I'm going to come in with a sanding block and distress it. And I did distress it pretty heavily. And then I am going to come in with Dixie Belle, the color Fluff. And Dixie Belle that's a chalk paint. And I am just going to do a light dry brushing effect. So most of the paint is actually just going to get offloaded off of my brush because I just want some of the white to show on there. I really want this wood wick and that pretty stain that was on this plate holder to begin with to really be the star. So I don't want a whole lot of that on there, but it just gives it that country, shabby chic, you could even, I guess you could even throw in maybe a French provincial look in there, but it just matches a little bit more with my decor. I don't have a whole lot of modern pieces, and I am going to keep this in my home. So I'm going to show you it when I'm through. I'm going to show you it styled. I'm going to show you it's beautiful just the way it is to hang on your wall or to sit up against something. But then I actually had a plate that my husband had at home from somewhere, and he liked it because of the couple on it, and I thought it was sweet. So I've actually got it displayed with that plate. So if you can pick up any of these plate holders, just keep in mind that you can update these, and they really are a beautiful decor. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, give me some thumbs up, some likes, and throw me some comments, please. Y'all have a blessed week. Y'all are awesome.